Hey everybody, and what's up? And welcome to another episode of Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I'm your host, Piers Austin, and we are coming to you live from Multi-Continental Wrestling Alliance on Facebook and on YouTube. So make sure you go click subscribe. But we're also coming to you live at a few other places, and we'll say a special thanks to WCW Nation, WWE Wrestling Evolution, and Wrestling Maniacs for allowing me to stream this interview in their groups to bring a lot more eyes onto it. But before we get in and bring Jesse Neal out, I just want to thank a few of our sponsors. So first off is Signal Studios. So Signal Studios is a recording studio here in Sydney, Australia. They can also send you out music, beats, whatever you need around the world digitally. If you're a pro wrestler, you want some new entrance music, hit up Rafi Tomasi and he'll be able to hook you up. Or if you just want something to write, they'll be able to hook you up as well. So my next sponsor is Mayan Belts. They make the best championship belts in the world. If you want a custom championship belt, you want a replica championship belt of your favorite title belt that you see on television, hit up Eddie and Ira Williams on Facebook. They do amazing work and you will not be disappointed. So my next one is A-Rock Design. So A-Rock Designs is a company run by my good friend, Ashley Rodriguez. She makes custom wrestling cups, hoodies, t-shirts, tumblers, you name it, she makes it. She also does stuff that isn't necessarily wrestling related as well. So, you can get stuff for both worlds. If you want to get something for the kids or something for your wife, or a wrestling cup for yourself. And last but not least is Immortal Restoning. Immortal Restoning is a business operated by Jeff Parthay. If you've got an old championship belt, the stones are falling out of it, it needs a bit of a facelift, contact Immortal Restoning on Facebook and they'll definitely look after you. But guys, without further ado, please allow me to introduce my guest for this evening. It is Jesse, the Dog of War, Neal. Jesse, what's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going, man? I appreciate you having me on here.
Man, I appreciate you coming on, buddy. How's everything been going for you in this current climate?
It's been I don't know, it's been kind of crazy right now. Wrestling wise, slowed down a very lot. I'm pretty much not doing it anymore. I don't agree with a lot of things that's been going on and stuff like that. Plus, my body's all beat up anyway, so I don't know. It's like I'm at that age where it's like, do I become one of those guys that never quits, or do I move on with my life? So. That's kind of slowed down, but my regular life has been pretty good, man. I can't complain. I'm very happy.
Man, that's incredible, man. And you're saying that the wrestling's sort of winding down for you, and I definitely want to touch on that. But before we get into it, man, like before you got into wrestling, you served in the United States Navy. Mm-hmm. How old were you when you first joined the Navy, and how long were you in it for?
Man, I first decided to go in when I was a junior in high school. So I knew right away what I was doing. I guess I got caught up in that Top Gun generation type of thing, trying to be a tough guy stuff. I want to fly. And I listened to my recruiter, unfortunately, and I became an engineer, a dirty engineer. So I just stayed at the bottom of the ship, you know what I'm saying? So, but I got in there right when 2 days after I graduated high school, man, I was on a bus ready to go to boot camp.
And how long were you in the Navy for?
I was in there for 4 years. So I was 98 to 2002.
Yeah, right. And like obviously being in the Navy, did you find it sort of gave you a lot of skills for, life after the Navy, like as far as discipline and regiment and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's like when I went in, they were just yelling at you and stuff like that. They weren't hitting anybody or anything like that. That was way back when. But you do learn the discipline and stuff like that you carry on. I mean, you could really tell a lot, literally like 99.9% of military veterans or anything, you could tell that they're, a veteran or whatever, just because of the way they carry themselves, the way they have respect, no matter what they believe in or anything, there's still like a little bit of respect in that and discipline for the most part. But yeah, I mean, I learned a lot when I was in the Navy. Like I was just a kid out of St. Cloud, Florida, man. Nobody really knows that town except Disney World. You know what I mean? So it's like, I didn't know anything from anything, so I was literally getting yelled at because I couldn't pee in a urinal on time. You know what I mean? So it was pretty bad, But it was one hell of an experience, and I don't regret a single day of it because it made me grow up a lot, and I wouldn't be the man, even 1/4 of a man I am now. Man, it's ridiculous. It's crazy how I've grown from there.
Yeah, and especially going in at such a young age as well, like straight from high school, it's like that maturity level would have had to sort of increase sort of straight away, especially.
Well, I mean, My dad raised me up. He's been a cop my whole life and stuff like that. But he was one of the good ones, man. Thankfully he retired and got away from all that crap and what's going on, especially now. He was one of them good old boys, though, man. He didn't care. He did care about the law and stuff like that, but man, we were a small town stuff. He was one of the good cops, man, and he just couldn't wait to retire, especially because he seen where it was going. But learning that discipline from him and then jumping right into boot camp, man, I was set. I was really set on that.
That's incredible, man. And you know what? We got a few people watching here, Jesse. So we got Jeff Gerard, who's giving us the horn. Ben Walker saying, "What's up, brother?" Tyler Peck takes a big man to admit when his body's worn out. Agreed. Our good friend Kevin Rodriguez, who you know well, who you'll be doing his show very soon.
Yes.
So he's a
dude, man. I just met him a couple of days ago, man, and he's already a good dude. See, like I'm saying, and that's not just for military either. It's called human beings. You know what I mean? We tell who's good dude, who's good, who's not. You know, that type of thing. So it's getting nuts around here. It's getting crazy.
That's it, man. So were you always a massive wrestling fan as a kid growing up?
I was one of those kids off and on. When I was a little kid, I used to sneak over to my uncle's house, when I was little and watch Saturday morning cartoons and stuff like that with Hogan and Junkyard Dog and the white convertible and stuff like that. Like it was awesome because they were kind of my superheroes at the time, And then I got away from it for a while because it just wasn't the end thing to do. I got into basketball. Of course, I sucked at pretty much every sport I tried. And I just didn't find my way until I found wrestling. So thank God for wrestling. I never thought I would say that.
But so like, obviously when you were a kid growing up, you mentioned Hulk Hogan and Junkyard Dog and guys like that. But was Hulk Hogan the one that really drew you into professional wrestling? Like, obviously,
with the cartoon and stuff like that, it was, but mainly I was into Sting, man, with the flat top and the red, white, and blue. Though sometimes he came out like that. He was just always that clean cut, like superhero type-esque that I could actually is real instead of like the Captain America or the Iron Man type of stuff when we were growing up. You know what I mean? So it was like the closest thing to a superhero. So Sting was it for me.
Yeah. So when you got out of the Navy in 2002, like, was it pretty much like an instant thing? Is like, I'm going to get into pro wrestling, or where was your mindset at when you?
Well, I survived a terrorist attack. My ship, the USS Cole, got bombed and stuff like that. So I was going through a very troubled time at that time. I didn't know how to handle PTSD and stuff. And it still causes problems with me today. You know what I mean? It doesn't die out. It always stays with you. You just kind of learn to live with it sometimes. And sometimes you can't, and you have to fight it and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I was going through troubled times, like right when I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what I was doing, anything like that. I was hardly sleeping. I definitely wasn't myself. My parents say it best that they dropped their boy off of the Navy and they never got the same one back. You know what I mean? And that's got a lot of truth to it. Yeah. But I'm better for it now. I went through that troubled times and I was bartending, serving, stuff like that, just jumping job to job, just trying to stay alive, trying to find my way in the world. And then all of a sudden I was bouncing at a club in Orlando, and somebody was talking about a wrestling school. So I'm like, you know what? This has got to be a sign, because in the Navy, I became a fan again. The Attitude Era and stuff like that was money to me. I was a big Triple H fan at the time and just loved what they were doing, The Rock, Stone Cold, all those guys. And I fell in love with it again, but then the bomb happened. And like, I used to have all my boys over at the house, steaks and beers and stuff like that and WrestleMania parties. It was a good time,
Yeah.
I'm reading. Wow, you got some comments coming up too. Everything. Sorry.
That's all right, man. That's all right.
But it was a troubled time. But then I found wrestling again, and it kind of felt like home again. You know what I mean? It kind of put not all the pieces back together, but some of them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, like almost like giving some sort of normality back into your head in a little bit.
Yeah, it was beaten into my head for at least the first couple of years, but yeah. I had Bubba as my trainer, man. Bubba just beat the shit out of people, man.
And you know what, you mentioned, training at the 3D Academy and, training with Bubba and Devon. What was that like? And you mentioned how learning it, but what was it like the first day walking in there?
I'll tell you what, man, after I had that conversation at the club there, the very next day I went and checked out Team 3D Academy. The first person I met was Bubba Ray Dudley.
Oh,
that brought it real. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm gonna go to this
Yeah.
school because you know the rumors, man. There's a lot of schools out there that put people's names on it. And I lived in St. Cloud and Kissimmee pretty much all my life, except for the Navy and stuff. And I'm like, I've never heard of this place, but I knew the gym that it was sitting behind with the big barbell in the front. It was like back in the 70s and 80s, listening to an Arnold Schwarzenegger promo or something, driving up, that old school like type of feel. And then I drove in the back, and it had some kind of tanning, like, I mean, this sign was like 20 years old or something. I'm like, no way. I opened the door, and there he is, man. I shook his hand right then and there. I'm like, I'm in. Here's my money.
Yeah. And what were some of the things that Bubba really sort of spoke to you about that first meeting?
He actually asked me what I want, what makes me want to, join a wrestling school or even become a pro wrestler. And I kind of told him a little bit of my story. I didn't tell him everything, because I don't like talking about a lot of it, but I do talk about some of it. And I just mentioned a little bit of it, and he's seen the realness in me. And I think he's seen right off the bat, because it's a real character. It's a real life person that has the real feelings from that storyline. So it actually could be, it could be something in the business. But, he said it straight up. It's probably going to be the hardest thing I ever did in my life. And I'm like, I'm not in it, man. I'm gonna do it. It's fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But when training started, man, I was all hype, and my heart was in my throat, and all kinds of stuff, man. Oof, it was some of the toughest stuff I've ever been through is wrestling school with the Dudley Boys.
And what was that first bump like? What was that experience like for you first off the bat?
I was actually one of the bigger dudes. And I was like I think I was like 240 at the time, and just like one of those guys, you know what I mean? Like, I can do this shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As soon as I hit that mat, man, I'm like, hold on a minute. What am I doing?
You're like,
yeah, like I hope it gets easier. And no, for people out there listening, you want to be a pro wrestler, it doesn't get easier. If you want to be great at it, it definitely ain't going to get easier.
And obviously, how long were you? Was there anyone in your training class that went on to have a career anywhere?
There's a couple of them. I know one guy. He's on AEW right now. Actually, a couple of guys are with AEW behind the scenes. We have a female that I started with too. She's on AEW. Sam Shaw, I trained with him. He came in later. Remember Sam Shaw? What is his name? Dexter Loomis or something. Awesome, Dexter Loomis. Awesome gimmick for him. Like, I gotta admit, like, me and him, we were road buddies, man, for a while. And awesome cat, man. He deserves every single second he's getting where he's at, man. He's an awesome dude, and he trains his ass off.
Yeah, no, you can definitely see, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of that character. It's
I just really hope they do something with him and not waste it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed his stuff in TNA. Like, his stuff in TNA was
AEW. Man, look what they're doing. They're doing some crazy shit, man. It's awesome. I love it. And people from the original Team 3D Academy class is actually in a lot of it. So I'm very proud of them. It's awesome. A couple people are down in Mexico rocking it out there. Even in Europe and stuff like that, they're kicking ass. So I mean, it's a wonderful thing, and you could tell the training was worth it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, at training at Team 3D Academy, it's like learning how to wrestle is one thing, learning the fundamentals, learning how to build a character and really do a promo is one thing. But what did the guy? I mean, you've been trained by 2 Hall of Famers, so. In that, did they really sort of take the time to explain how the backstage works, how the politics work in professional wrestling to set you guys up for success? Or do you think that was something they could have done more of?
It was kind of like as you go type of thing. You either got it or you didn't. Yeah. And Bubba and Devon, they ran a tight ship, man, there. And you learned backstage because it was backstage kind of. Like, if you're not in one room, training in the ring or mat wrestling or something like that, you're in the other room. And honestly, Bubba and Devon, they have their office there, and it feels like backstage. They really give that like WWE, TNA, AEW backstage feel almost. I mean, I felt like that. Every time I walked in that school, I felt like I was in a studio. I felt like I was taking steps forward in the pro wrestling business and stuff. And it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. And they taught us a lot. And then a lot of things looking back now is like it's like one of them unspoken lessons you learn. You know what I mean? It's kind of a lot of those in that school. Like I said, you either or you don't.
Just sort of watching back and observing and learning like that sort of way. But once you sort of like finish your training up there with them, like how did you find breaking into the indies? Like, were they able to help you get bookings? Was it like something that you had to go out on your own?
Now that was the thing with Bubba Devon. They always kept it professional. We did our own. I can remember me and like 5 other people from the first class. We took a minivan, and we drove all the way out to Booker T's in Texas from Orlando. And we did a couple shows there. And that was our first big road trip experience, our first year. And we kind of did it as a whole. So it was kind of funny. And it was kind of like, this is the business I love, man. Cause we stopped at the Waffle Houses. We ate at Taco Bell and felt like crap for the show and stuff. You know what I mean? We
man,
out there, and it was awesome. And another thing with Bubba, he had us not use GPS. We did it the old school way. We had to look at the road maps like he did back in the day and stuff. And we did. We honored that. We respected him for that. So we did it too as well. So that's kind of like one of them unspoken things that nobody's really heard about. But they trained old school, definitely.
Yeah. How did you guys find traveling using the old school maps instead of the GPS?
I mean, I was a fan of it because I hate iPhones. I hate computers. They're going to take over the world one day, of course, but, I don't know who's taking over the world nowadays, but I don't know. I just think computers and stuff like that is just a waste, but it was definitely an eye opener though. Cause you go from something you're totally used to holy shit, we're really doing this on our own,
Oh, 100%. And how did you find, like, obviously you said going to Booker T's, but did you find that coming from a training school like the Team 3D Academy, it helped you in order to gain bookings because they know that you were training somewhere credible?
I mean, at first, what we did was, it was like a handful of us from the first class. We started kind of working together, hitting some shows and stuff like that. We hit some faraway shows like down south, South Orlando and stuff like that. Down towards Miami area, Deerfield, Coral Springs I think that was my second show ever, was in Coral Springs. My first show was in like Sunrise, I don't know where, Florida. But I mean, it was fun. You know what I mean? It was great because we worked as a team, and it was kind of like that brotherhood we were already building that Bubba and Devon taught us. And it's kind of a new world we're jumping into because nobody knows us. And we literally built our characters. And I mean, a lot of our characters was ourselves, but times 1,000, like we were always taught. But I mean, it was fun. It was good. I mean, they knew we were Team 3D Academy boys. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Yeah. But we earned those, especially those few shows we were doing. We were even going to a bar, one of them bar shows, man, down in where is it at? It's one of them dirty places in Florida. There's a lot of them nowadays. But we were down there, and we were going to this bar on Tuesday nights, man. A bar on Tuesday nights, I don't know, but we were there wrestling. Smoke-filled rooms, but we were beating the shit out of each other in front of these people on the indies. I'm saying even the boys were watching that had no clue what Team 3D Academy people could do. Well, they know now what we can do, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and and that's the thing. That's the important part of wrestling is going out there and getting those reps in. Learning the road, learning to go out work the indies, but. How did you get involved with TNA? Because TNA came along and really put you on the map. Yeah, I mean,
don't get me wrong. Even what TNA is doing and what they've done, I don't care. They gave me a shot, man. When I was a nobody, I was fresh out of boot camp, as you can say, and I was literally backstage with a lot of us from the first class and stuff like that. And we were just paying our dues, you know what I mean? We were going backstage, see if they need anything as extras, just showing up, first person in, last person out, shaking everybody's hand, that type of thing, respectfully showing our way. And I just happened to run into, it was Vince Russo first backstage. They were him, Jeff Jarrett. They were catching wind about me because I had my mohawk up. I had the full Mr. T beard and hair and everything looking, you know what I mean? It was on point. I was in a suit, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, who is this guy? Like 240 pounds. Nobody knows me from anything. So I was there with my resumes, and I had resumes done perfectly exactly where Bubba and Devon taught me. And it caught Vince Russo's eyes, Jeff Jarrett's. I gave them all resumes, DVDs, all kinds of stuff. And they were just impressed the way I was acting. I mean, it goes a long way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's a respect thing as well. And, obviously, coming from a background like your dad being a police officer and being in the Navy, you definitely see that sort of, you get taught to respect people, show respect, and how to approach it.
It's natural. There's a lot of people out there faking it, but you can tell who's doing it naturally and who has it and who doesn't,
Yeah, you can definitely tell when someone's being genuine and someone's being disgenuine, So, one of our viewers says, Clint Hall, man, love your work in Atomic. Alex Red is a good buddy. Congrats on your success, bro.
Hey, appreciate it, Clint, man. That's awesome. I miss you guys down there. Now, that show he's talking about, that was a fun show, man. We did it in Cocoa, Florida. Cocoa Beach is one of my favorite spots, you know what I mean? So at ARW, man, I got to do my thing, man.
And who did you wrestle down there on this show?
Man, I wrestled so many good guys. They're still down there kicking ass, man. Wes Briscoe, Shannon Moore, of course, Shannon Moore. Like we even tagged again one last time for Inc. And we actually had like a 6-month feud going on. Me and him actually beat the shit out of each other for 6 months. And It's all on YouTube, man. That storyline we did ain't got its justice yet, but I'm going to try to find somebody to put it together for me. It's a good story from what we went through in TNA and stuff with with a little bit of talk. Well, with me, a lot of talking, but, and then some of the highlights during what we did, it was amazing.
I might know someone that might be able to help you out with that.
Yeah, that would be great, man. Cause like I said, me and Shannon Moore, we told a real true story, man. It was fun. It was a blast, man. In our matches, out of our matches, our promos in between. Everything was money, man. It was great. And we didn't do it for, 6 figures or to get signed. We did it when we left TNA, when we could have more control over it and really make it real, really make it real.
And Shannon Moore, that's another guy that really never got his due. He's so good.
Yeah, he's amazing. Like when he came to TNA, man, it was amazing. I love him like a brother, definitely, man, because he didn't know me from anybody. I was a nobody. And he literally looked at me and Mohawk tattoos. He's like, you know what? I want to help this kid out. And we sat at a picnic table right out front of the studios. I remember it like it was yesterday. And we literally talked it out, stuff like that. We just threw shit at each other, threw ideas and stuff. And the following weeks we were just texting and calling and stuff, and just Inc. was born. You know what I mean? He was amazing, man. He was a good teacher and a good brother.
Yeah, you definitely saw with that tag team you could definitely tell there was a strong friendship there. You know what I mean? Like you guys were more, I don't know, like it was a really believable team, and it was one of my favorite teams in TNA.
We weren't choreographed; we were having fun.
Yeah, like you can definitely see it was having a lot of fun, and me being a tattooed up dude as well. You know what I mean? So I kind of I really appreciate seeing stuff like that, and I really dug it. It was one of my favorite boys, man. Yeah, man. Look, you know what, man? It was really one of my favorite teams in TNA. I had a lot of fun watching, but with that, so obviously once you and Shannon sat down and discussed the Team Inc., how did you guys then go and execute it to management and try and get this across the table?
Well, he was more of the spokesman because he was, the veteran of the business more than me and stuff like that. So they were going to him and he was just throwing stuff together. Hey, what's up, Gene? Hey, now I'm keeping up with that stuff.
I'll bring it up slowly.
Man, it's new to me. But yeah, man, he was kind of the go-to guy to go to upper management stuff about it, and they kind of liked it. So they're like, you know what, screw it, put them together, see what happens, that type of thing. Let it grow. Yeah. And I mean, since day one, I can't thank the TNA fans enough, and all the TNA fans all around the world, or just wrestling fans, I don't care, everybody. Like they showed Inc. love, man, and I can't thank them enough for that. It was a blast. It was a hell of a ride, man.
Yeah. Do you think that you guys should have been given a bit more to run with in TNA? Yeah.
Hell yes. We could have did so much more. Just what we did in ARW speaks volumes. And I mean, we were having 30, 40-minute matches together. I mean, we were beating the shit out of each other. Like they were, because ARW is more, like hardcore and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And yeah. Love that stuff. I mean, that's another reason why I got to stop. But it was just fun. We got to do so many cool things, and like you can see there was real emotion. You know what I mean? In every single move we did, like he pulled the best out of me, man. Like I can't even put into words what that guy has done for me, especially in my last little bit. Like I'm so proud of what I've done there that I can say goodbye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And, it's always one thing, like everyone's going to want to do more for what their storyline and what their character is. But, I definitely think they could have done a lot more within Gang personally on that level. But, within in being in TNA, like, was there ever anything that you feel that was, anyone really try and pull you down, like anyone try and sort of pull the legs out from underneath you? You hear in wrestling there can be a lot of backstabbing. Is that something that you experienced firsthand?
That's everywhere, man. It's so
that's life, bro.
When Bubba was talking to me, we had a lot of chats in his office. And, I mean, they were good chats. Not at the time they weren't good chats, because he just told me this is the way it is. And I got to deal with it. But of course, me being so young in the business, I'm like, nah, I'll change it. I'll change the business. It's all about respect and stuff. I'm like, no, it's not. It's so much shit. But I mean, the brotherhood is there. Don't get me wrong. But then you have a few pieces of shits in you know what I mean, turds in the punch bowl type of thing, and it just ruins it for everybody. And I think a lot of that's showing, but I don't know. I think it's good for the business, because it's making all the wrestlers and some of the boys, they're branching off and they're doing their own shit, and they're actually paying respect back to the business. They're bringing it the way it's supposed to be for the fans, So I don't know. It's of course there was a lot of shit back there in TNA and stuff like that, but I was one of those kids. Like I'm the type of person that respected where I was. I didn't take anything for granted. I jumped on TV when that red light hit me. I did what I was supposed to do. I turned into this person that I always wish I could be when I was that scrawny little nobody when I was a kid. But then I could actually be that superhero like Sting was to me, but I was to other people. And I actually became that to quite a few people, and I don't take that back. But of course, there was people holding us down. I mean, Inc. was something you ain't seen in a while, in a long time, especially in TNA, those kind of characters. And we never touched the belts.
Yeah, to me, I thought that was something that I would have liked to see Inc. with at least one reign as the champ.
I think I held the belt when I think we were beating up Mexican American or something. I took one or something for a second, but that's about it.
That's as close as you got, huh?
That's it. That's all I got, man. It was like I was screaming, they were pulling me back. No.
But did you mentioned that you like the hardcore style of wrestling and that sort of very hard hitting. Did TNA try and pull you back a few bit, like hold you back a little bit worse if you want to say, hey, I've got this idea for a spot, I've got this idea for a style of match, and they're like, yeah, no, that's too much.
Well, it was a lockdown, and I haven't said this publicly to anybody, but it was at a lockdown one time. It was the match where Inc. was going against Scott Steiner. He teamed up with Crimson, I think. I've been hitting the head way too many times, but it was like a 4-man tag match, right? British Invasion, that's how far back it goes. British Invasion was there. And we were all fighting, and I wanted to jump off the cage because I was like, I never done anything crazy yet. You know what I mean? That put Jesse Neal on the map for Inc. It was always Shannon doing some cool, crazy, flashy things. And then there's me just punching and throwing people, which is fine too, but I could fly too, and I wanted to show that shit because, for one, I wanted my adrenaline up anyways. So it's kind of selfish, but I did want to give some to the fans. So I wanted to do that. I mean, of course, I went straight to Scott Steiner. I asked him if it was all right. He's like, I don't care as long as everybody's there. He was awesome, man. Scott Steiner was great when I was there at TNA, and he okayed it because I'm going to the veteran of the match. I made sure everybody was okay with me doing something crazy like that, and everybody was okay. And then agent went upstairs to ask, and they said, nope. It's not your spot to do. So right then and there, it kind of showed me they're not going to let me, you know what I mean? Unless I just kind of start doing things on my own, but I wasn't on that level yet to start doing things on my own and on front of camera, that type of thing. So
I need to business for yourself, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, now my attitude now, of course, I mean, that's probably why I'm not signed, because they know whatever the fuck I want. People love it, so I don't give a shit.
I love it, man. That's great.
I just and the thing about it is I have fun, and the fans see that I'm having fun, so they have fun with it, and that's a lot of what wrestlers need to learn. There's a lot of wrestlers out there that don't know that. They think, oh, I'm gonna get 1,000 likes for this stupid shit. No, man, you got to be out there having fun, man. Stop following a damn script and be yourself, because that's what the wrestling business is supposed to be about.
Yeah, I mean, and the audience can definitely tell when someone's not into what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like it can be very evident, and whether that performer's doing that intentionally or not, you can definitely see that in some aspects of it. But I think every wrestler goes out there for any company, any opportunity they get, they really want to be able to knock it out of the park to
of course
the best thing for them. But like you talk about your friendship with Shannon.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you were able to really take away from an early, being someone new to the wrestling business? What were some of the things you were able to take away from working with a veteran like Shannon?
Pretty much everything I got in TNA was probably because of Shannon. Because I mean, when Hogan came in right then and there, I knew my stuff was squashed. It was me, Bubba, Devon, and Rhino, and we were the South Philly Wrecking Crew. And it only had like a month worth of footage of the South Philly Wrecking Crew, and it was glorious. I mean, it was me getting my ass whooped by Bubba, but it was training, it was learning. You know what I mean? It was that now I'm not a student anymore. Now I can show my extreme type of ways. You know what I mean? And Hogan took it away from us.
What was the reason why Hogan did it? What was for ending that?
I don't know. I think maybe he just wanted to come in and shit all over TNA and say,
yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what his plan was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, some of the stories were probably shit in his eyes. So he probably wanted to squash things and start over, start fresh. Because what other good way to make a new start is with a Hulk Hogan coming into your company,
Yeah, no, 100%. But how did you find working with Hulk? Did you have any opportunities to work alongside with him? Like, did he help you with any storylines?
He was at Gorilla most of the time when he wasn't doing his stuff, because he was very busy on the show too as well when I was there, and like all the time. But just listening to him out there doing promos, it's like it's not that he doesn't care, but he's so natural, like, because he's been doing it forever, and it's like that's kind of what I took from him. Like, I just need to relax and just, show the people that I love it. So I learned a lot from just watching him do that. I worked with him. I think it was me and Matt Morgan. I called Morgan out before I wrestled him. I was still a student at this time. And the long sleeve and the workout shorts and the amateur wrestling shoes. And I still got that outfit, by the way.
Well, mate, there you go. You're framed.
Yeah, but honestly, those amateur boots that I was wearing, they're the ones I wore when I went to Team 3D. So it was kind of cool, with that. But I was a nobody, and he actually, I think he said my name wrong. He called me Jesse Neal at first. So there was some getting to know Hogan a little bit. So he didn't know my name, but
know, brother.
Yeah, brother. But it was one hell of an experience, because I'd go backstage and Hulk Hogan himself, just looking at him, larger than life type of deal. And he calls me brother and gives me a hug. Like that was cool, man. That was cool to me. Like with Sting, working with Sting, like he was in full face paint one time backstage. And I'm a little dork when it comes to this stuff, man, because everybody knows I was a wrestling fan too, And
I mean, we're all wrestling fans. Even wrestling.
Yeah, he had a baseball bat in his hand. He was ready to go out, and he had a chat with me a little bit. He's like, I seen you out there. You're doing this, you're doing that, like helping me before I'm like, I'm supposed to be listening and learning, but Sting, I apologize. This was the first time I ever did this. I was looking at you. I'm like, holy shit, Sting is trying to help me. That's what I was thinking. So it was cool, man. It was one hell of an experience. So I liked working with those guys. It was fun. It showed me a lot of good, a lot of bad, and it worked for me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people sort of shit on TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, there's been some storylines and stuff, but
yeah,
you don't hear a lot about the positive of the backstage stuff. And that's the thing. You look at a lot of the younger guys that were there back at that time, like yourself, and look, I don't want to list names of people off, but look at where they are now. It's because they had no exposure to those people.
Yeah, a couple of people, when I first got there, man, I can't thank them enough either, man. AJ Styles, like, look what he's doing in WWE now. I was there with him in TNA, man. He got in the ring with me. He worked with me. Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, guys like that. Like again, I said, like, I was a nobody, and they took the time to teach me, to help me, to you know, the TV aspect of things. I would just stand there in the ring. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't have nothing scheduled or nothing. I was just standing there listening to them talk over matches or just bullshit. And I would go out there and bullshit with them. And it was a hell of an experience. And guys like that make the business, you know what I mean? And it keeps the business alive with guys like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's them putting back into the business, and you hear many stories. A lot of veterans, you know, the infamous hold on to their spot, you know, not letting that go. But you know, and everyone needs to grow. It needs to develop. Otherwise, you know.
But that's the thing too is everybody keeps dwelling on the negatives and the bullshit. But you got to see what works. I mean, wrestling business is known for just throwing shit on the wall and seeing what it sticks. Well, start messing with the stuff that does stick, man. I mean, have fun with it. Like, I mean, AEW is doing a lot of fun shit, and you don't even know what's coming out of them anymore. Hopefully they stay that way. They got a bunch of great guys at the top. You know what I mean? And that's what a business really needs, you know? I mean, WWE has a lot of great people there, man. Like, I've worked with a lot of them. I was in and out of there after TNA. And, I mean, great guys. All of them, literally like 90% of them would hug me, shake my hand, all that stuff. And it was like, I was at home at WWE, and I wasn't even signed. Everybody was like, you know, I mean, Bray Wyatt was one of them, man. He was awesome when I was there. Him, Daniel Bryan, like those guys, they were cool, man. I felt at home. They helped me, you know, feel like I was at home. Teddy Long, man, was great. He was great player. You know what I mean? He was awesome, man. He was great.
Did he put you in a tag team match?
No. All I did was for WWE was I was in the back of a promo one time I didn't want to be in, but I was there anyways. And I did a dark match, or not even a dark match. I did like a tryout match gimmick that they do, you know what I mean, with one of my buddies, and had a blast there too. You know, the locker, it was cool. I was there just to get looked at again, but this was after TNA, and this was when I was really good at wrestling, man. Like, you know, when you just feel it on something and you just don't want to say it, but I could say it, man. I was really good. I was at the top of my shit right there, man. And I gave them everything. I gave them promos. I gave them everything they asked for. Everything was great. I mean, Regal loved me. All the coaches at NXT loved me. I mean, we had fun. I think that's what that love was, you know, and it was a lot of fun. But I mean, I guess I just didn't, you know, catch their eye at the right moment, I guess. I don't know.
What was the feedback there for that?
Oh, it was great. I mean, every single person, every single coach, every single person I talked to, all the way up to Triple H, you know, I mean, was always great to me. They always said I had good stuff. And I started to go to NXT. They were bringing me in, and I was just not doing anything. Yeah. And I was like, guys, I'm here to work. You know, I mean, that would be great. But of course, I did what I was supposed to do. You know, I showed up in a suit and did my stuff. But yeah, I guess they didn't see eye to eye. I don't know.
Maybe they're blind or drunk. Who knows? But
maybe. But because I was giving them everything I had.
Well, the thing is as well, like the form and the military, you know, the fact that you served in the U.S. military, the character pretty much writes itself. You know what I mean? Right. Like it's instant that baby face, and you know, especially because, like, you know, me being from Australia, but one of the things I see from American culture is Americans are very patriotic people. You know what I mean? Like they're very supportive of their armed forces. That you know, so I think it would have been a character that would have definitely gotten over in WWE.
That's the thing. I don't know if I scared them, and I don't mean scare them like bullying them or anything like that. But I mean, I think I scared them because of how real my character was, like how real I can like turn it on. You know what I mean? Like I can. It's so weird. Like I did promos where I was in tears. I had them in tears. You know, and I was just talking about anything. I didn't care, but I had that natural feeling of that scared, the fear, the everything that I can draw up from what I've been through. And I had this reckless, like, attitude type of thing, not in real life, but like in the ring. I mean, of course I took care of everybody. I never wanted to hurt anybody or anything. I don't think I ever did either, but, not that I remember, but, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It was very frustrating for me because it was something so real that I could become something, not just like the John Cena character, you know, that good old hero type, but
yeah,
like Batman says, you know what I mean? Like it's the hero that whatever he says. I don't know. What does he say about some hero thing or something? Like it's not the hero you're looking for, but it's the hero you need or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a Batman fan. I'm an Aquaman fan. But it's you know, I just wanted to be that like dark character-esque type of thing, and I had the real feel for it too. I don't know.
Yeah, and look, it's just it comes down to timing as well in professional wrestling, as like when the time is right and stuff like that. But you know, it's one of the things. But I wanted to get into, because we were speaking before backstage, and obviously the beginning of this interview that you were mentioning, you know, the wrestling side of things for you was starting to wind down. You know, where are you at with wrestling right now, like mentally and physically? Where are you at?
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you who's champion, man.
Yeah.
I needed a break. You know what I mean? Because I put so much into wrestling again the last couple of years, and I mean a lot. I mean, I've got scars up and down my body. I've got, I don't know how many more concussions in just the last couple of years. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not me complaining at all. I loved every single one of them. Every single hit, it was. I'm an idiot sometimes like that. I love the pain. I love the excitement from it. And I don't know. It just hurts.
It hurts. I have hours. I need time away.
Yeah, I need my time, guys. I need my time.
I mean, do you think like you could see yourself coming back into wrestling at some stage, or do you think once you're out, this is pretty much it for you and it's retirement time?
There's not enough money in the world, brother.
Not enough money in the world to call it quits.
I might have one last match with a buddy of mine down in Florida, because we always promised. One of my old road buddies and stuff. He's awesome dude. But yeah, it'll maybe one more. If anything, it'll be that, and that's it.
Yeah, right. And man, it's such a hard thing to sort of want to call, man. Like it's, you know, it's something that you know, but you know, that's the thing. It's like you could always come back and do one-off shows and spots here and there, and you know, always be involved. You know, would you?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I got a mind for the business. Bubba taught me a lot, and that's what Bubba does, man. He's a genius when it comes to this pro wrestling thing, man. I can't even put into words. Like, I'm not kissing ass. I have nothing to gain by saying anything, but man, the shit that come out of his mouth just like that, like it's insane. Like, he's a genius for it. Devon also, like the stuff he would come up with is just like, what? Like, how? Again, they just boom, it's done. And I learned from that. And like at ARW too, I was me and Wes Briscoe, we were doing agents backstage. We were like acting like as agents and trying to better the show for the fans. And man, we were getting so many fans there, and we created a buzz down there. And Wes Briscoe's continuing it. It's awesome, man. We got Thrasher down there, Shannon Moore, of course, Wes Briscoe's there, of course. And I mean, they're kicking ass still. And I love it. I love it. Like I was always taught, you want to leave something better than when you found it. And I truly believe I did that with ARW. I gave them my heart and soul and a lot of blood. A lot. You know what I mean? And then another show with Frank Goodman down in Orlando. I don't even know what I'm saying his name, but no, he's good people. USA Pro, man. I got to put a Trump mask on and go and talk my shit to people and
That's awesome.
stir shit up. And I don't give a shit about. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do care. I do care, especially what's going on in this country. And I think they should be heard. Just putting that out there, guys.
No, absolutely. Put it out.
Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. They should be heard, man. Why can't you give them a shot? You know, why should it be into violence and stuff like that? My girl was showing me, you know, like videos from Chicago and Los Angeles, and it's just in Miami now. And it's just, guys, we can put a stop to this stuff. You know what I mean? But like I said, my dad's a cop too. And my dad truly believes too that, you know, like, he's one of the good cops. You know, he wouldn't shoot an unarmed man, no matter what color they are and stuff. Like, I was never taught that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was never taught that. And, you know, they shouldn't have to worry about getting pulled over and shot. And they have, you know, so they should. You know, I truly believe that they should be speaking out. And I've been seeing on Twitter a bunch of wrestlers are putting it out, and I know these wrestlers, and I'm like, you weren't saying that when I knew you.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's good and bad people in every profession, and you know, and racism is something that's never going to go away. But all we can do is, I think people from, you know, like Jesse, you're a little bit older than me, not by much, but I think people from our generation are kind of like still have that old school but new school sort of thing where it's like it's 2020. And you got to accept people, and that's where like people from our generation have really been that sort of one to sort of break that old.
especially the stuff I've been through, I kind of look at things a little different than normal people. I don't consider myself normal because I'm a bit crazy.
Are we all?
Yeah, well, more than others.
True.
It's like what I've been through. I keep my eyes open, man. I'm awoke, man. Like there's other things going on. And I mean, I don't need to say it because I mean, people just, all you gotta do is open your eyes and see what's going on. I mean, in major cities, look what's going on. I mean, there was some videos put out that there was an ad put out for like riot actors and stuff like that. Like, I mean, there's little instigations to make things even bigger, but bottom line is they need to be heard. And that's what they're doing. It's a beautiful thing. Like, I mean, obviously the coronavirus put everybody at home and stuff like that, and everybody's scared of that. So they're pent up for like 3 or 4 months. They don't have nothing to do. And then the government throws money at them for the stimulus check, and every single one of them goes and cashes. I didn't get one. I'm still working, thankfully. I'm thankful I didn't lose my job at it, and I'm doing okay. You know, I can't complain.
Yeah.
But they're all pent up, and then finally they have a reason to speak out and come out. Of course, everybody's going to come out and do their thing. It's that big wooden spoon stirring the pot, and it's like they still need to be heard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't even need to say it. We all know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's just an endless cycle, and I hopefully one day they will be heard, and all this stupid shit can be laid to rest, but it never will. That's the problem, man. It's like there's too much hate. I think that's what I'm getting to. I talk too much sometimes, but
no.
I go with my feelings, you know what I mean? And it's like there's just too much hate in this world, like, and that's what it's steering up. Like all this shit on social media and the news and stuff like that. They're showing these little bits, and I think CNN is at it again. I don't care about these news things. I never trusted them anyways. Any news, Fox News, CNN News, all news. They all want the money, you know what I mean? The ratings. So they're going to do anything they want, you know? And CNN was at it again. I seen a video that, come on, man. They had 2 crews on one riot, one of them black, one of them white. And guess who they arrested? The black reporter. Like, come on, guys. That's so serious. Like, you don't need to instigate it. The hate and the stuff is there. You're basically getting in the way of the movement of speaking out. So it's like, it's a big problem, and hopefully people start seeing that we're all human, and yes, they do need to speak. They need to be heard. Simple as that.
Yeah, no, I think everyone has a voice, and everyone's voice should be heard. It doesn't matter what race.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
no.
I'm so passionate about this right now too, is because there's good cops out there too, and they're caught up in this shit. You know what I mean? I say this. They're out protesting. They don't have any weapons. The protesters, Black Lives Matter, all the groups, everybody out there, they don't have weapons. How about those good cops finally start being good cops, and they lay their weapons down and they step forward? Like, how about that? Why can't that be a movement? Why can't that be starting something? But you got a bunch of cops that are scared. Because they just want to go home to their family and do their job and get paid because they're caught up in the bullshit. I mean, there are good cops out there, but there's quite a few bad ones out there too. And hopefully they can be heard. We can start taking charge, and finally somebody put their foot down.
Yeah, but it's like I said, there's good and bad in every profession. And I think at the moment, what's going on over in the States, I don't know. I'm in Australia. I don't know that culture. Yeah. You live with it, you grow with it, but treating your police like that, and sort of segregating, it's like, if we turn around and started throwing heat and anger towards every person that's from China or has a Chinese background because of coronavirus, you can't do that.
Too, a little bit. That kind of started a little bit too. Now, like that started a little bit. It's kind of funny that a disease happened to come out and put us in place. You know what I mean? And stir us all up, get us all freaked out and crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's craziness. It's just craziness.
It definitely is, man. It's a crazy time in the world, and I think that now, like in Australia here, it's starting to end. Like it's starting to wind down, this corona stuff, thankfully. Yeah. But it's crazy. There's some countries that are doing it really, really tough, man, and it's been scary for a lot of people and a lot of
what did I call it? It's the new norm. That's what I've been calling it. I said once we get out of this corona thing, there's going to be a new norm, and then all this rioting happens and stuff, and it's something's going to change, something big, way of life and everything.
Dude, people have gone crazy, man. Like you're being forced to stay at home. It does a lot of things, man. I got two kids. I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, man, and they were at home for literally 2 months straight, and they went crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like they drove me and my wife crazy. that's what kids are supposed to do. But
right.
we're getting close to that 1 hour mark. So we'd like to sort of play our weekly game that we play called Guess the Aussie Slang.
Uh-oh.
So, Jesse, have you ever been to Australia, bro?
No, I would love to, man. I would love to.
Okay, so a lot of people want to come to Australia and they want to check out our great country. So I want to set you up for success. Okay, so when you come to Australia, we use a lot of slang words. Okay, and I'm gonna set you up so you understand these. Okay.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. So I'm gonna run through, and we're gonna go from here. Okay. And you tell me what they mean. All right. Oh, mate. I just had breakfast. I just had a coffee and an avo on toast. What did I have on toast?
I don't know. You said you had a half of one on toast.
No. Okay, so I had a coffee.
Yeah.
And I had avo on toast.
Avo.
What's avo?
I don't know, man. You guys from Australia, so you guys got to do something totally different. I don't know. Did you put some butter on there?
Avocado.
Avocado. See, I was gonna say something different like that, guacamole or something, but that's not Australia.
You want to come around to my place in the Arvo?
In the backyard?
In the Arvo. You want to come to my house in the Arvo?
In the Yavo. Is that the car?
Afternoon. Arvo.
Oh, Avo. Yeah, I'm terrible at this, obviously. I can barely speak English, man. I can't even speak our own slang.
All right, I got another one for you. This interview was a fucking beauty, mate. What's a beauty?
Yeah, I think it's good too.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was great. Would you like me to put the billy on?
Ooh, coffee?
Yeah, so it's basically like a teapot. So you call a teapot a billy in the outback. So it's
close.
yeah,
close.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Dad's in his budgie smugglers again. Budgie smuggler.
In his tidy whities?
Close. A speedo.
Ah, getting a little better at this.
Yeah. Mate. Oh, I'm chock-a-block.
You gotta take a shit?
No, I mean, you popped me on that one, bro. It means I'm full.
I mean, you look like you need to take a shit. You want to time out on the interview to go do something?
No, man. I'll keep it. No, chock-a-block means I'm full. Like I've eaten a lot.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah, either that.
All right. My mate Kevin, and all right. First of all, this way that I'm going to say this is because the words are pretty bad swear words. So if I say see you next Tuesday, you know what I'm saying, right?
Fuck off.
No, if I say see you next Tuesday, you know what that spells out, right? CUNT.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna use this in a word. My mate Kevin is a fucking sick. See you next Tuesday. What does it mean? Cunt? Yeah, if I call someone a sick fucking cunt, like if I call you a sick cunt, what does that mean?
That's a bad thing, right?
No, it's actually a good thing. To call someone that in Australia is the highest form of flattery one male can give another. If I go, Jesse, you're
set me up.
No, I'm serious. If I say you're a sick cunt, man, that means you're the man.
It's like the opposite type of thing. Like I don't know how would we do something like that? I'm sure we call people shit names here, but it's a good
like put it this way, Australia is an oxymoron because we're the only place in the world where we call our enemies mate and our mates see you next Tuesday.
That's so weird.
Try and figure us out, motherfucker.
Hey, wait, time out. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Does the toilet flush backwards over in Australia?
No, it flushes the right way here, mate.
It flushes the same way as we do it, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I've always heard that rumor that in Australia the toilets always flush the opposite. I don't know if there's a certain way or not, but
We will continue the game though. So all right, I've got a couple more.
all right.
Oh, mate, maybe Kevin isn't a 6C next Tuesday. He might be a bit of a drongo. Drongo.
Does he have a little sugar in his tank?
Drongo.
Drungo. Is he drunk?
No, like kind of like a fool. Like, don't be a drongo, mate.
A what?
Don't be a drongo.
Don't be a drungo.
Drongo, yeah. All right, so I've got a couple more for you. So, hey, Jesse, do me a favor. Grab the esky out of the back of my car, mate. What's an esky?
I mean, if you're hanging out with me, you'd probably need a body bag. But what is it like? Tire iron?
No, so an esky is like a something that it's kind of like a cooler. You put ice in it, you put drinks in it. It's got a lid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call it an esky. All right, so
I'm terrible.
All right, the galahs were loud this morning. Galah.
It was out this morning.
The galahs were loud this morning.
Oh, we're loud. The neighbors.
No, galahs are a bird. All right, this will be the last one, and I'll make this a good one for you. All right. My missus is going off, and she's cracking the shits. So going off and cracking the shits. What are those two?
Going off is probably screaming and yelling. And
yeah. So kicking off, yeah.
Yeah, and the last part is probably like she lost her mind, kind of watch out type of feel.
Cracked the shits, got upset, got angry.
Yeah, like kind of lost her cheese, slid off the cracker type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But look, Jesse, just as we start winding up, I just do want to thank our sponsors real quick. I just want to thank A-Rock Design, Signal Studios, Mayan Belts, and Immortal Restoning for all that they do for this show. Thank you so much. Jesse, where can people find you and get in contact with you and show you some love and support, man? I
mean, right now it's kind of, I'm getting back on Instagram. It's the Jesse Neal. Same thing as Twitter too. On YouTube, it's the same thing. Facebook, I'm not on so much just because I don't like the propaganda bullshit that's controlled. I mean, a lot of it is controlled nowadays. It's kind of hard to speak your mind without being ridiculed or taken, but it is time we're allowed. I mean, that is kind of a tool for this generation to actually speak out. But there's too much false stuff, but I get into rants. But anyways, I won't get into rants now. But we'll save that for another interview, I guess, because I can go on forever. But the Jesse Neal, you can find me on there. I haven't been on there much lately, but I'm coming back a little bit slowly just to show people like life after wrestling a little bit. You know what I mean? And if they want to continue following, that'd be great because it's nothing but positive vibes. I thank God every day I'm breathing, and I'm just happy for what I have, in my life.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much, Jesse, for coming on. I would love to do a part 2 with you at some stage down the line. But guys, you've been watching Shooting the Shit. Please make sure you click subscribe to our YouTube channel. Come over and follow us on Facebook. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. All the links are down below here. Jesse, thank you so much for coming on, man. I've had a great time talking with you, brother.
Thank you, brother. It's been one hell of an honor, man. And part 2, it could definitely get more crazy.
Let's do it, man. Anyway, guys, we'll catch you next time.
Yes, sir.
Bye.